Have you ever felt inferior to a different race or any individual? Oppression is when a person or group of people who have power use it in a way that is not fair, unjust, or cruel. Joaquin Phoenix once said, "I think whether we're talking about gender inequality or racism or queer rights or indigenous rights or animal rights, we're talking about the fight against injustice. We're talking about the fight against the belief that one nation, one people, one race, one gender, or one species has the right to dominate, control, and use and exploit another with impunity." Have you ever wondered where your food comes from? Where the hamburger you've been craving all day comes from? Where that milk you drink every day with your cereal comes from? Where the steak or chicken you eat for dinner comes from? This is animal agriculture. Animal agriculture is holding animals hostage simply so we can eat their meat and secretions. Animals are dominated and controlled for their entire lives on these factory farms.
Fair Oaks employees engaged in extreme animal cruelty. They have been fired, and an outside contractor is no longer allowed here. We are not showing the abusive images in which calves were clearly being thrown, kicked, stabbed, beaten, and burned.
This is inhumane and unfair to the innocent animals that are victims to these farms. Luckily, there are some laws that slightly protect their rights as living beings. The Humane Method of Slaughter Act is a federal law that requires the proper treatment and humane handling of all food animal rights before they are slaughtered. But unfortunately, this law does not protect chickens or any type of bird. But this isn't the only human action that affects the innocent animals on the planet. The history of animal testing goes back to the writings of the ancient Greeks in the 4th and 3rd century BCE.
Experimenters often call other animals non-human. And if it weren't so sad, I would actually find that amusing, because that's sort of like calling me a non-hamster. It makes so little sense. They're not non-anything. They're whole beings with enormous and often thoroughly unrecognized intelligence. They have emotions, love, fear, pain, joy. They like to be free, that are often totally ignored.
The Animal Welfare Act is a federal law that addresses the standard care animals receive at research facilities. However, this law excludes about 95% of the animals that are tested on. This includes animals such as birds, fish, rats, and reptiles. They get absolutely no protection, and the ones that do have very little protection.
Hello, I'm Tony Farley.
Good afternoon, my name is Sean Tobin.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm a senior.
I have never been vegan or vegetarian, ever.
I was vegetarian for about 2 years.
I am vegetarian. However, I do eat seafood, fish. Used to be vegan. It's hard. Back when it was really difficult, back in the day. Man, I really love ants.
My favorite animal is pigs.
My favorite animal is a dog, by far. I think the coolest animal, though, is a giraffe.
Of course, I don't think that animals should be tested. That's cruel and it's just inhumane.
Oh man, that's the tough one, right? Because ants, like flies, you know, they'll bug you and they'll get into your food.
They eat a lot of hamburgers, they eat a lot of steaks. And so if slaughtering cows is considered cruelty, I'd have to say I don't have a problem with that.
I'm not for animal testing at all. I'm against it, always have been.
Animal testing is disgusting, in my opinion. I think it's horrible. I don't think it should be done.
Well, like I said, I think if it comes down to a human life or an animal's life, then I think you got to go with the human. As far as the testing, like I said, I think a lot of it can be done without the abuse of animals.
No, I do not think that.
I don't think it's okay to imprison animals for human entertainment.
Well, it's not necessary, right? Obviously, we don't have to have aquariums, we don't have to have zoos. But the fact of the matter is those are also really good opportunities to teach people about those animals and about why they should be preserved in the wild too. So,
Most people that say zoos are good say that oh, people got to learn about them in order to care about them. Well, learn about them then. There's the internet. Learn. I think they're an abomination, you know. I think the whole factory farming industry is just out of contact with humanity.
well, I think that could be done a lot differently too. I think factory farms aren't so good. I'm not necessarily against doing that. I would like to see it done a lot more humanely.
Factory farms like chickens and cows and pigs, those are disgusting and horrible.
I do think that, and I think we can. I think we just choose not to because if we spent more money in the creation and processing of these animals, right, the processing of livestock, then the price of food would go up, and people don't like that. So.
Yeah, I think it's important to treat everything humanely.
Of course, I think that we should treat them with kindness just like everyone else. Just because we eat them doesn't mean that we should treat them like if they mean nothing.
Yeah, I think we give the same oppression and care to animals.
Definitely. I think humans can be cruel.
No, I don't think it's much of a comparison. It's definitely what we do to animals is worse than what we do to each other, by far.
Probably like in the hundreds.
Jeez, I don't have the faintest idea. I'm going to go with every day 100 million animals are killed.
Oh God, every day, including the ants. So I would say probably 500 million animals are.
3 billion animals? Okay, that's a lot.
3 billion? Wow, every day? That is crazy.
3 billion? That's wow.